What do some of the giants say in answer to the question? What do giants, intellectual giants like Darwin and like Einstein say in answer to the question, is there a God? Because I think some of us feel, well, I mean, we have our thoughts, but are we in line even with those who have brilliant minds? And here is Einstein's own statement, and maybe a book that you want eventually to get. It's called Know Why You Believe by Little. And he quotes Einstein's own statement of his faith. My religion consists of a humble admiration of the illimitable superior spirit, and it's a capital S at spirit, who reveals himself, a capital H at himself, in the slight details we are able to perceive with our frail and feeble minds. That deeply emotional conviction of the presence of a superior reasoning power which is revealed in the incomprehensible universe forms my idea of God. Probably no man has understood the complexity or the beauty and the order of our world as Einstein has. And yet he says himself, of one thing I am absolutely certain: this carefully designed universe is the result of the activity of a mind that is far superior to any of ours. And it's that mind that I regard as God. What about Darwin? I think a lot of us think of his Origin of the Species for what it is, just an incredible book and an incredible breakthrough in thinking, and yet we automatically say, well, of course, Darwin destroyed any idea of God that we ever had. Darwin ends his book, The Origin of the Species. This is almost the last paragraph of the book, and he ends it like this. There is a grandeur in this view of life, with its several powers having been originally breathed by the Creator into a few forms or into one. But Creator is capital C. It's no idea of an élan vital or an impersonal force. It's a capital C. Having been originally breathed by the Creator into a few forms or into one. And whilst this planet has gone cycling on according to the fixed law of gravity from so simple a beginning, endless forms most beautiful and most wonderful have been and are being evolved. Of course, Darwin saw the theory of evolution just as that, a theory, a hypothesis of the way the thing might have developed after the Creator created. And whether you and I are arguing for evolution or not, we ought to see that Darwin, who is regarded as the father of evolution, wrote that sentence. There is a grandeur in this view of life, with its several powers having been originally breathed by the Creator into a few forms or into one. In fact, loved ones, it doesn't matter how far back you go. If you go to 400 BC and go with Plato and Socrates, you find them absolutely certain that there is a God, with no doubt in their minds at all. You go further back, you go to 4000 BC in Mesopotamia, and you find that people are talking in the same terms. They're talking of a God who is real and personal. Here's from one of the most ancient engravings we have. A man must truly proclaim the greatness of his God. A young man most wholeheartedly obey the command of his God. It's 4000 BC. So throughout the world's history, in whatever place you go, among whatever people you travel, there has always been this unquestioned assumption that there is a God, that there is a supreme being. And not only an unquestioned assumption that there is such a being, but there has gone along with it a worship and respect of that being. And whatever tribe you visit, whatever group of people who have never been touched by civilization we eventually communicate with, among every tribe and every nation, among all peoples, there has been a general unquestioned assumption that there is a God who created the universe.